So what happened in the end of the last one is that we found our father from the past, who was in our present, which is his future, and then we got transported into like a portal or something.
Alrighty then.
So there was a cool little like portal.
Miss me, baby?
Always.
So this area looks kind of familiar.
It sure does, baby.
I know where this is. I know when this is.
So this is why I have.
Isn't that hairy guy from
Sigrid?
Harry Potter?
Yeah. You're an Umbran witch, Ceresa. This is why I have her in her Bayonetta 1 outfit, the inferior outfit. I think I talked about this last time, but this is what I was talking about. You have to go into a separate menu for, like, concocting all this stuff, which I think is dumb. In the first game, you could literally just do it. You don't have to enter a separate menu.
I'm fairly certain you still had to do this.
I feel like you didn't. I feel like you had... I mean, you still concoct things, but you didn't have to go into a separate, like, sub-menu.
Oh. I get what you mean now, yeah.
Udine we got for beating, Actually, no, that's not true. We got the whip for beating the lady in the last video, but... I don't remember who you have to beat to get Udine, but that is probably my least favorite weapon in the game.
Yeah. I love the Chain Chomp.
Chain Chomp's so good. And this is why people are like, oh, you need to bring this game to other consoles. I don't think you do, because if you do, that Chain Chomp's not coming along.
Yeah, also, like, Bayonetta just feels like a Nintendo character, even though it's, in many ways, the most anti-Nintendo character.
Yeah,
it's
at this point, she does just feel like a Nintendo character.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, it barks!
Yeah. It's also the same thing where if you wear the Princess Peach or the Princess Daisy costume, you, the wicked weaves that you, like, summon are Bowser.
Love that.
And the halos turn into rings and they make the sounds and stuff. It's really quite great. Now, I think it's a little too hectic to, like, actually pay attention when you're playing the game, but I feel like, and I might not be able to back this up, I feel like sometimes the Chain Chomp will attack on its own. Do you remember those doors in Dead Space that would scream?
Everything in Dead Space screams. But yes.
that enemy just made a noise and it sounded like the scream, the Dead Space scream. You can just go classic with it, just the guns.
I am surprised that I thought it would be possible to have two Chain Chomps, one on each foot.
No.
That would look ridiculous.
Yeah, you also can't equip it to your hands.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it has to be your foot weapon, which I think is a little unfortunate. Yeah, just equip it one to each foot and one to each hand. You have 4 Chain Chomps.
Yeah.
That's an idea for Bayonetta 3. They could just have that. They don't even need to credit me.
Yeah, the game's coming out in a month. They can patch that in. These games are a gift.
She's like Revolver Ocelot if he was like really hot.
Yeah, Revolver also hot.
Wow, Revolver Hasselhoff. Instead of spinning revolvers, he spins cheeseburgers on the floor.
God damn it. just gonna go there.
We will be overrun soon. Gather at the clock tower. We must defend it with all our
She
strength.
kind of sounds familiar.
Sure does.
You're...
They both got big heads like garden gnomes.
They do look like garden gnomes.
It's just the height of the hair, but
Look, I was told height doesn't matter of the hair. It's how you use it.
yes.
I will say I do
Yeah.
like the enemies that you fight in this game, but I do enjoy this part of the game where you go back in time and you fight like the enemies from the first game,
Yeah.
because they are like really well designed, and I just always enjoyed fighting them.
And it gives a good contrast between the two.
That's always my go-to move. You'll find I like to knock enemies into the air and then combo them there. I always
I tend
start.
to do that too when I play Bayonetta also.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's because I watched you play it so much that I feel
Oh,
I
yeah,
have to play
maybe.
the same way.
You're like, I gotta do it,
It just-
like how
it
a
just-
master does it.
Yeah, it just looks, Master Miller, it just looks so appealing. I need to get it done.
And of course,
Get
the
her done.
fact that the move is literally the red hot kick from Beautiful Joe helps.
Right. I remember that guy.
Yeah, and like all the 8 times that you fight him in that game,
For fuck's sake, he's everywhere.
and he's even in this one too. Get away!
He's gonna be the final boss of Bayonetta 3. Mark my word.
That would rule if that was true. I would hate that so
It
much.
just shows up at the end.
It would be cool if he was like one of the summons that you have in that game. He's just like,
Yeah.
I'm really tired of fighting you. Can you please just like be friends with me now?
Yeah. How do I become hair?
Yeah. Bayonetta leaving notes like, "Dear everyone, decided to become hair."
Love Cerveza. That's what David Hasselhoff did in that video.
He became hair.
No, he loved Cerveza.
Oh right.
Maybe a little too much.
There are too many words because I was about to say, doesn't that mean head? But that's cabeza.
Yeah.
Trying to get some cabeza.
Yeah.
I will say I do like these levels where you're in the past, but
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they weren't in here just because I feel like they take up too much time and it's mostly 100% just content from the first game. I don't mind it,
Is it?
but
Does it feel like padding in any way?
it doesn't feel like padding because it is important to the story that we're here, actually, like very important.
Yeah.
But content-wise, maybe. And I have no problem with video games reusing assets and stuff like that. That's how every
Oh, yeah.
video game gets made.
Right.
So I don't mind that. But it just feels like this could have been some new stuff, but it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. I like, I appreciate an iterative approach to enemies sometimes, like, especially in older video games. Like, I'm very specifically thinking of Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, where the little black and white Bianchi guys that you fight, they get, like, different accessories in the second one.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I would say their enemy design crawled so the Borderlands gentleman could soar,
Oh no.
because they are very similar.
Please don't say that Borderlands is anything like Beautiful Joe.
Well, I mean, that's not exactly what I said, but
No,
point
that
taken.
is exactly what you said. That's another game that I just don't understand. Capcom's just sitting on that. Just remaster
Yeah.
them. Like, it's enough to be like, okay, they don't want to make 3. Just remaster the first 2.
Yeah, you have it. You're just sitting on it.
Yeah. I guarantee those games would look beautiful. Beautiful, actually. I can't believe
Yeah,
I did that and I didn't say that.
Yeah, put some respect on that name.
I was very mad that I fell down that.
Looks like it hurt.
I mean, it didn't hurt
Bayonetta's
me.
okay.
It also maybe I think it does diverge, because I was gonna say I wish that there were at least some like new areas in this, and I think there are, but not enough.
Yeah.
I think I want to say this area is new. I don't really.
This
remember
doesn't look
this.
familiar to me. As somebody who is like very familiar with the first game, it does not seem. It seems like they added this to the first little foyer area.
Yeah.
Foyer area.
Because I think in the first game, that area that we were just through, that's where you fight John, but then it's also where you learn how to do the like wall run stuff. So I think you might just go to a completely different area, and I think this is new. I'm gonna entrust you with something very spooky. I'm gonna let you carry the commentary for a bit while I go get him something to snack on.
Well, wow. No pressure. Yeah, going back to Beautiful Joe, it's God, there's just so much love for that series and everything that Clover/Platinum did down the road. It's a shame that that just died. Although I kind of feel like there's a renaissance of just, we're going to resurrect IPs because people love it, and we're going to feed off nostalgia, so I wouldn't be shocked if it shows up in the next 5-ish years with everything. Hell, if Konami's making games again, anything's fucking possible.
So what kind of cool stuff were you talking about?
Just how Beautiful Joe is in the DNA of all these games, because there's a finisher at the end there where it kind of ranks up your score, and the photography noises play in the background.
Yeah.
And just also how like we're in such a resurgence of IP being bought that I wouldn't be shocked if it shows up in a couple of years, just because like if Konami is supposedly making games again, we'll see.
But here's the
then
thing: would
anything's possible.
you want? Well, I mean, specifically on Halloween, but would you want a Beautiful Joe 3 without Kamiya or Platinum's involvement?
No, at this point, I just want 1 and 2. I don't want 3 unless they're getting those folks together and working on it. It's the same thing as, why the fuck would you ever make a new Metal Gear without Kojima? Like, just let that series die.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot. Like, as much as I miss Metal Gear,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really want one without Kojima. It just wouldn't feel the same. It'll be like Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, where it's just like, yeah, this isn't your thing. You really shouldn't probably be making this.
Yeah, and it's like, it's the same thing as like, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that could be said about Kojima being like David Lynch, but like, I don't want just a regurgitation of something that one of those people have done before. Like, just create something, and I'm sure I'll probably love it.
Yeah. Now, I think the plan originally was that, like, he was gonna, like, if he hadn't gotten fired from Konami, he was, like, setting up the team from 5 to, like, carry on without him while he, like, moves on and does new stuff. If they had, like, let him do that and let, like, other people stay at Kojima Productions making Metal Gear, like, not under his supervision, but under his, like...
Yeah.
Like, people he picked and would trust to do it, I'd be fine with that, and I'd probably keep playing them, but they obviously
under
wouldn't
his
allow
Randy
that to
tutelage.
happen. Yeah, under the tutelage of Randy Tutelage.
Yeah, no, it's a lot different when it's very much like what we were talking about the other day. Like, let the people who want to work on Halo work on Halo.
Yeah,
let
do
the
not.
people who are passionate about Metal Gear, vice versa.
Don't cynically throw together a team of people that have to make Halo.
Yeah, and now granted, I know there is a shit ton of ex-Bungie people in there.
There are now.
I don't know. Yeah, well, and that has since changed. Like, some of their higher ups have moved through. That whole thing is just a mess.
Like, I know the guy, the creative director of Infinite, like Rick Halo, worked on like a bunch of the other ones. I always forget that dude's name, but I was glad to see him back. But yeah, I don't know. He came in like at the last year, so I don't really know how much he could have truly contributed.
I did finally kind of hit a wall with that game today, where I'm definitely fatigued at the fact that there's not a lot of extra content in it.
Yeah, and I know that they haven't updated it for like a while, right? Like a couple months or something like that?
Yeah, so the seasons are like 6 months long.
Oof.
And the fact of the matter is like there's only like somewhere around like 8 or 10 maps. And each of the playlists are very narrow, so it's like you can't play every single game type on every map. It's certain maps are designed around certain game types, which is really kind of frustrating because if you're going for a certain set of challenges, so like they also
hold on, I do just have to cut in here and say that we do have in fact confirmed the return of Gallant and Goofith. All right, go ahead.
Daddy-o. Love him.
You can't play all the maps on all the
yeah, and it's just really stale at this point. Like, there's a new cosmetics thing that you can play towards, and it's like all you have to do is beat stupid little challenges, and you get like different cosmetic pieces outside of the season pass stuff. But it's like, do I really want to sit and play one game mode on 2 maps for a couple of hours just for this when I'm not ranking up in any other way?
Yeah.
Because I've already beaten the battle pass like a couple of months ago. So it's time to put it down for a little bit. But the thing that is unfortunate is that is leading the discourse and not that like the game still functionally plays well. I feel like not enough people.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Like, I've watched I've watched a lot of videos.
There is some glitches, but sorry.
I've watched a lot of videos on how, like, Halo Infinite's, like, the worst game ever made, and it's like, it looks like it works fine. I've been saying this for forever. People need to get, like, lower standards, because they think that, like, they'll see a game like Metal Gear Solid 5, and they'll say, this game is unfinished, this game is unplayable, and it's like, no, you need to play, like, Sonic 06, or, like, Alone in the Dark. Like, those are unplayable and like unfinished and not polished. Like, Metal Gear Solid 5 is like one of the best playing games of all time.
Right.
It's just like people need to get higher standards. Halo Infinite, I guarantee, is not a bad game. It's just like lacking in content. There's a difference, and people really need to stop being annoying.
Yeah, and it's, the other thing that's unfortunate there is that, and it's something that I feel like is getting lost in this too, is that Microsoft is giving them time to do things right, and they're not rushing things out the door.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's, like, the fact that they delayed the game for a whole year, and granted, they probably still crunched through that whole year process, because that game was, like, the development of that was troubled, to say the least.
Yeah.
But they delayed their flagship launch title for a new console for a whole year. Like, that's a big
unheard
deal
of, yeah.
when crunch is so prevalent.
Yeah. The moral of the story is, when it comes to video games, people need to get lower standards. When it comes to movies, people need to get higher standards. Because this Marvel slop, I'm tired of it. Yeah, it's like video games are getting more expensive to make, and they're more realistic looking than ever, but they look worse. They have no artistic design. Everything looks the same. Like, The Last of Us is a boring looking game. The fact that it's getting remade and it looks worse than it originally did. Just like, people need to get lower standards. I don't care if a game looks like real life. I see that every day that I wake up.
Yeah, I mean, granted, like, I appreciate when games can do it and pull it off, but like, yeah, there's a real creative drought when it comes to games looking the same. Like, that happens every couple of years. I was just watching a Voidburger episode, which was actually kind of annoying, but it was about how games kind of all look the same from a certain standpoint, and when they do, they lose, like, the interaction with the player and the environment, because things are kind of lost on just, oh, look how pretty this is, as opposed to look at everything you can go and do. It's a really reductive way of summing it up, but
Yeah, why did that annoy you?
because the clickbaity title of it was Horizon Forbidden West is ugly.
It is ugly.
And
I
it's
agree
like-
with her.
No, it's not. It's objectively well made, but it's also kind of bland, sure. But like, there were some really stupid kind of stretch points, I feel like, to get.
But see,
to
that's the
end
thing.
of
Like,
that
look at
pieces.
those two games. That game and Death Stranding run on the same engine. Death Stranding looks 1,000 times better and looks just about the same amount of realistic, but it has a way better art design, and art style, and art direction.
I'm biased because despite not liking the Horizon games, I like the artistic direction of them. Not like the environments and everything, but like the creature design and the
Yeah, that's enemy design.
of
That has
it.
nothing to do with art direction.
Well, that's part. You're still designing the creatures. That's technically still a direction.
You know,
of the
it's a
art.
part of it, but it's not all of it.
Yeah, no. And again, I don't
Anyway,
know
you
why
better
I'm
wrap up
defending
what
a
you're
game that I
saying
don't
in 15 seconds, buddy.
like. Already did.
Oh, well, there you go. Got a gold award. I got a gold award because I won that argument. I didn't know that we were arguing, but I won.
Yeah.
So